So I often wonder about different kinds of statistics that are now available on YouTube. I think I've always been kind of interested in things like views and most discussed. I know if I go over to my videos and I look at all the different videos, I can see some of the information and the different view counts. And I kind of sometimes wonder, why is it that a particular video didn't get maybe as high a views as I wanted? And then other times I look and I think, oh, there's a video that kind of got a lot of views, and it was really meant as more of just a kind of a playful sort of thing, and it maybe got a few more views than I wanted. But it's kind of interesting to look at some of the analytics that are now available. I often wondered, though, how much people really use them or find them interesting. I mean, one of the things you can do is you can go into your account on your page, and you can go over to where it says videos, favorites, and playlists, and click on that. And then you'll see your individual videos. And there's a button saying about this video. So you can take a look at something. Let's see. Maybe I'll take a look at something that was relatively popular. Or maybe something that wasn't so popular. I don't know. Well, let's look at this one. This is called Shaking Man. And we say about this video. We click on that. And then Google picks, now pulls up this kind of analytics that it gives you. So you can take a look and you can see certain kinds of analytics over certain time frames. Now this one's kind of a bad one actually because it goes all the way back to December. But I remember early on in my project, I would talk to people about how they thought their videos were doing, and people would say that videos had a hot point kind of, and it was about 2 days. And after those first 2 days, things really sort of trailed off. And this one's kind of hard to appreciate because it was back in December. So actually, let's pull up another one that may have a better sort of graphic on that. Maybe even Tree Spirit, since I just did that one. But if you look at Tree Spirit, which I posted March 27th, and you look right here, and this really does pretty much classically bear out the kinds of things that people observed about their videos, that over a 2-day time period you have the hot point, and then it really tapers off as the video goes on over time. And this has been posted just a little bit under a week ago. So, and then it also shows other statistics like where around the world your video is being watched, which is kind of interesting. And here you see, okay, so Tree Spirit was seen in the United States and a little bit in Canada, and you can show more view counts for specific countries. Or you can also go to the other measure, which is called popularity, and you can hit popularity, and it's supposed to be where 100 would be like the most popular video for a specific country, and 1 would be like the least popular. So I'm not even like registering on the scale here, basically, but they say popularity is 100 for the most watched video in a territory and 0 for the least watched. And you can kind of change your scale, which is interesting. You can change it. Here I have a view over the life of this video because it's kind of short, but you can actually narrow in or widen the view and look at that over time. And you can look at different countries too. You can see popularity by countries. You can say all countries, or you can say Europe. Let's just see what happens in Europe and how much I'm watched in Europe. And for this video, Tree Spirit, for some bizarre reason, there's a lot of viewers from the United Kingdom, but not other places in Europe. And I find that kind of interesting, that there would be viewership in certain countries and not others. Now you might think, well, United Kingdom, I mean, we're both English-speaking countries, so maybe that accounts for that. If you look at other videos I've done, let's go back to videos, favorites, and playlists. And then there was one that got featured on YouTube's main page. Let's see if I can find that one now. I think it was on the next page. And, okay, there it is. So, about this video. Now, this is what defines a community. And so, this one was the one that got featured on YouTube's main page. And if you look at views, now this one was posted last October. So, I'm going to stretch out the view bar here so you can see all the way back to the beginning. And let's look at the pattern. And here again you had maybe some initial spiking, and then a little bit later on it got picked up again. There's a little bit more activity, and then over time it's really flattened. so that you can see that there's nothing going on after that initial sort of flash point. But what about other countries? Where was it viewed? Well, here you can see all countries. You see some registry, some viewership there in Europe. So I'll click on the Europe part, and we'll see what happened there. And that's kind of interesting because you see a big green, dark green spot, and you can see that as it gets darker, there are more views. And I had some viewership in Italy and also in Germany and the United Kingdom, and then a little bit for Ireland, Spain, France, and again for more places in Italy. Now it was featured, I know, on the Italian main page, so of course this could account for this, obviously account for this dark green area. But I guess my question in general is, do people use these kinds of statistics? Do you click on your views, on your popularity? Do you look at the different countries or areas around the world to see where you're being viewed? I mean, I can look at a demographic for what defines a community, and a lot of views in California, a lot of views in New York, there's some in Texas, some in Florida, there's a little bit on the East Coast, some in Washington and so forth, Minnesota, Illinois, and then some other kinds of places around. So I was just curious if you use these statistics for your purposes, and if so, what do you use them for? I mean, in some ways it raises more questions to me than it answers why, sometimes very random places will have different kinds of views. Let's take a video, for example, like Eat Slowly, which had about 197 views to date. I posted it around Thanksgiving time. And I was really interested to see some activity in other parts of the world. And so I looked, let's say, for example, in Europe, and then there's some activity there in Germany and Norway. Now that's really random. Why would I have people in Norway watching the Eat Slow video? Now for my Dance Anywhere video, you see that there's actually some activity in India, which is kind of interesting. It's sort of a greenish area there. And then back in Spain, there's some activity. My video Reciprocity video got some play in the United States and Canada, but then again I can see some green areas in India and in China, which is interesting. Scenes from Vancouver, a lot of play in Canada. This one actually surprises me. Even though it's terribly obvious that it would be circulated in Canada quite widely, I noticed that the United States, there's not a lot of activity. And that actually kind of surprises me, because I would think that a lot of people from the United States would be interested in maybe seeing pictures about Canada. Many people have visited Vancouver. Many people might work in the United States and be from Canada. There may be people traveling back and forth. So this actually kind of surprised me a little bit. So sometimes you get some surprises, like if you look at this video, the Jazzy Flowers video that I taped from Philadelphia, the Philadelphia Flower Show. I think it's kind of interesting. As you look at the views, you see that there's a lot of activity in various places recently in Japan, and then if I look at other time frames, I see some activity over in Sweden. And I think to myself, Sweden, why is Sweden a place where people would want to watch these? So I guess the basic idea here is, do you use views and popularity analytics now that they're available on YouTube? And do you use them because you're interested in being a professional and these kinds of things help? Or do you use them just for your own interest and curiosity? But I guess for me, is they start raising more questions than they answer, because then I start wondering, well, why is this country seeing more of this video? Why are these people more interested than other people? So I find them sort of less satisfying, partly because they confirm some of the early research I did where people were kind of intuiting that there was kind of a hot point for some of them. And then it raises more questions about why certain blips start to happen. Sometimes I think I can explain it, like when I know that someone that I know on YouTube has posted my video and featured it on their channel page, I can guess that that popular person probably boosted the viewership, not in this case of this video in particular, but it has happened, and so I know that it's been boosted. But anyway, if you have opinions on this, or if you're interested in this feature, or if it raises more questions than it answers, or you find it very useful, I'd be really interested to hear your feedback on it. Thanks.